Welcome to Mariposa Read, Enjoy, and Discover, brought to you by the Mariposa Adult Literacy Program with support from the Mariposa County Library and a grant generously provided by the California Library Literacy Services. This program has received generous support from KRYZ Radio for broadcasting Mariposa Read and Mountain Mrs. Creative Space for the use of their recording studio and editing software. The Adult Literacy Program is available to individuals 18 years of age and older. It is a free and confidential service to help adults reach their literacy goals such as citizenship, high school diploma, and employment opportunities. For more information, contact the Mariposa County Library at 209-966-2140 or email Mariposa Read, that's READ, @gmail.com. How this program works is, you may obtain a digital copy or transcript of the content from the Mariposa County Library's website at www.mariposalibrary.org. Select the Mariposa Read menu option under the Adult Literacy tab. You may also find them on the Mariposa Adult and Family Literacy's Facebook page under the event with the title of the show. If you would like a printed copy, they may be found in front of the Mariposa County's main library from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday on the Adult Literacy cart just right outside the door. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us here on KRYZ Radio. You're listening to Mariposa Read, Enjoy, and Discover. And we have a special transcript for you to read along to today because this Sunday is Father's Day. So we've written up the brief history of Father's Day for you to read along, and then at the very end, I'll have a special treat for you. So if you've got your transcript in front of you, we can go ahead and get started. A History of Father's Day. Father's Day is a holiday to honor fatherhood, paternal bonds, and the influence of fathers in society. Since the Middle Ages, dating back to at least 1508, the Catholic countries of Europe have celebrated fatherhood on March 19th as Saint Joseph's Day. Saint Joseph is said to be the father of Jesus in the Christian religions. This celebration's tradition was brought to the Americas by the Spanish and Portuguese. In the United States, Father's Day is not an official federal holiday, but it is a recognized public observance. Father's Day now falls on the third Sunday in June each year. Many people assume that Father's Day is a holiday designed by greeting card companies to make more money. While there is a huge amount of money spent on cards, gifts, outings, and restaurants to celebrate with our father figures, it has a more meaningful history than just capitalism. Some say that the first Father's Day was in 1907 to commemorate a horrible tragedy. In Monaga, West Virginia, there was a mining disaster that killed 361 men. 250 of those men were fathers, and it left more than 1,000 children without a dad. While there was a service at a local church in Monaga, it never really caught on as an annual observance. In May of 1909, a woman named Sonora Louise Smart Dodd was in her hometown church in Spokane, Washington, listening to a Mother's Day sermon. And she thought that a similar day should be set aside to honor fathers. Her father, William Jackson Smart, was a Civil War veteran. He raised his 6 children as a single parent after his wife passed away. Sonora wanted to honor her father for all he had done for her and her siblings. On June 6, 1910, Sonora took a petition to the local YMCA, Young Men's Christian Association, and the Spokane Ministerial Association, as well as government officials, churches, and other local organizations. The petition outlined the idea for an annual observance to honor fathers. She asked that the celebration take place in June, the same month as her father's birthday. She received a lot of support. Spokane held its first Father's Day celebration on Sunday, June 19th, 1910. Churches all over town gave moving speeches and sermons to honor fathers. While many churches continued this tradition, many did not. Over the next several decades, Sonora Smart Dodd continued to try to make Father's Day a nationally recognized holiday. The first U.S. president to celebrate it was Woodrow Wilson in June of 1916. He opened the church services of Spokane, Washington by telephone from the Oval Office in Washington, D.C. In 1915, President Wilson had made Mother's Day a national holiday, and he was pushing to do the same for Fathers. Congress feared that it would cause more harm than good. They felt that it might take away support for the Mother's Day holiday and commercialize the Day for Fathers. Sonora Smart Dodd continued her mission and traveled around to speak publicly to fathers in the hopes of gaining their support. According to a newspaper in Spokane called the Spokesman Review, the men laughed at her and said that they didn't want a Father's Day. They told her a National Fishing Day would be better. But she pressed on, and slowly the observance of Father's Day grew in popularity. In 1924, President Calvin Coolidge urged states to observe the day nationwide, but he refused to issue an official proclamation for the holiday. In the 1930s, there was an effort to combine Mother's Day and Father's Day into a single holiday called Parents' Day. In 1938, men's clothing retailers formed the Father's Day Council and put money and energy into getting the holiday recognized. They were able to get calendar markers to mark the third Sunday in June with tie and pipe illustrations. But the general public had no interest in buying cards or gifts for Dad that he probably didn't need. In 1957, Maine Senator Margaret Chase Smith moved the father's role into the national spotlight. Congress had reached another stalemate on whether or not to make Father's Day official. She wrote a very harsh memo that accused Congress has been guilty now for 40 years of the worst possible oversight perpetrated against the gallant fathers of our land, and should cause us to hide our heads in shame. Either we honor both our parents, mother and father, or let us desist from honoring either one. But to single out just one of our two parents and omit the other is the most grievous insult imaginable. Sadly, it did not change the decision in Congress. In 1966, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed an executive order and proclaimed the third Sunday in June as Father's Day. This was more than 50 years after Sonora Smart Dodd first tried to get the holiday started, but it was still not officially recognized as a federal holiday. In 1970, Congress passed a joint resolution that would authorize the president to designate the third Sunday in June as Father's Day. The resolution stated that the president is authorized and requested to issue a proclamation calling on the appropriate government officials to display the flag of the United States on all government buildings on such day, inviting the governments of the states and communities and the people of the United States to observe such day with appropriate ceremonies and urging people to offer public and private expressions of such day to the abiding love and gratitude which they bear for their fathers. Finally, in 1972, during President Richard Nixon's re-election campaign, he signed an official proclamation permanently setting Father's Day for the entire nation. To all of the dads, stepdads, grandpas, and other father figures out there, we are sorry that it took so long to put Father's Day on the books and show you how much you officially mean to us. But we have always been grateful for your love, support, sage advice, and even your cheesy dad jokes. Thank you. Happy Father's Day this Sunday. In 1978, Mrs. Dodd died at the age of 96. Her grave at Greenwood Cemetery in Spokane reads Sonora Smart Dodd, founder of Father's Day, 1882 to 1978. Okay, and now we're going to read the last page. This is a song written by my aunt, Penelope Toribio, and we're going to read it together. And then she's actually been a country western singer, and so I will play the song for you after we read it together. You know, it's really great practice when you're learning to read or practicing your literacy skills to see if you can find the lyrics to songs and then read along as they're being sung, especially since a lot of songs, you kind of already know the words to it. So as you listen to it and read along, it will really improve those skills for you reading. But this one is called My Daddy Was the Best by Penelope Toribio. I learned to dance by my daddy's hand when I was just a girl. Out on that dance floor, we could really step and twirl. He danced all night with Mom and me, he never took a rest. Now, I've danced with lots and lots of men, but my daddy was the best. And I wish I could dance with my daddy again. Feel his arms around me, see that great big silly grin. I wish I could dance with my daddy again, but I left home to see the world and I ain't been back again. When I was young, I thought there were things I couldn't learn at home. I packed my bags, caught the Greyhound bus, and set out on my own. I must have gone 100,000 miles just to find everything I need to know was back home all the time. And I wish I could dance with my daddy again. Feel his arms around me, see that great big silly grin. I wish I could dance with my daddy again, but I left home to see the world and I ain't been back again. I wish I could dance with my daddy again. Feel his arms around me, see my mama's loving grin. I wish I could dance with my daddy again, but I left home to see the world and I ain't been back again. I've danced with lots and lots of men, but my daddy was the best. Can I have this dance, Daddy? Isn't that great? I always think of my grandpa and his great big silly grin when I hear my aunt sing that song. And of course, I learned to dance by my daddy's hand also. I guess it's a family thing. So I think of my dad whenever she sings that song as well. Okay, so let me play it for you now, and you can read along again. The ending is a little bit different. You know, when you're writing a poem, a lot of times there's more repetition in a song than in an actual poem, and so the ending is just a little bit different. Okay, here we go.
I learned to dance by my daddy's hand when I was just a girl. Out on that dance floor we could really step and twirl. He danced all night with Mom and me, he never took a rest. Now I've danced with lots and lots of men, but my daddy was the best. And I wished I could dance with my daddy again. Feel his arms around me, see that great big silly grin. Wished I could dance with my daddy again, but I left home to see the world and I ain't been back again. When I was young I thought there's things I couldn't learn at home. So I packed my bags, caught the Greyhound bus and set out on my own. Must have gone 100,000 miles just to find everything I need to know was back home all the time. And I wished I could dance with my daddy again. Feel his arms around me, see my mama's loving grin. I wished I could dance with my daddy again, I left home to see the world and I ain't been back again. I learned to dance by my daddy's hand when I was just a girl. Out on that dance floor we could really step and twirl. He danced all night with Mom and me, he never took a rest. Now I've danced with lots and lots of men, but my daddy was the best. Danced with lots and lots of men, but my daddy was the best. Can I have this dance, Daddy?
Thank you so much for listening. We would love to thank very much Penelope Toribio for sharing her song with us and allowing us to use it on this show. If you're interested in hearing more of Penelope Toribio's songs, you can find her website, worldpuppets.com. And she also has a YouTube presence, CD Baby. I've seen her music on Amazon. Just Google her name. She's on there. All right. We also like to thank KRYZ Radio for hosting this program and, of course, you for listening along. We hope you'll join us again. We're here on Thursday nights at 7:30 p.m. and we replay the show on Sundays at 2:30 p.m. on KRYZ Radio. The Adult Literacy Program is available to individuals 18 years of age and older. It is a free and confidential service to help adults reach their literacy goals, such as citizenship, high school diploma, and employment opportunities. For more information, please contact the Mariposa County Library at 209-966-2140 or email mariposaread, that's READ, at gmail.com. We hope you've enjoyed this program and we hope you'll join us again. Thank you so much.